It's all a front! She fucking deceived us all.
It assumes you know her. It assumes you know best. It assumes you're the authority. It assumes a ridiculous narrative. It assumes a strong sense of reality. Because to assume all these things is bold. What up, Casanova? Today we're going to be doing another real life footage breakdown, also known as an infield breakdown, to use some old pickup jargon. Real world application is where it's at, and I find that this is one of the most effective and inspiring ways to see concepts and principles in action, aside from witnessing them in person, of course. So today I'll be breaking down a clip from an interaction that was filmed in Toronto 2019 around midnight at a bar in the King West district. It captures the starting point of the interaction where I engage two girls sitting at a table. Now, if you want full, uncut, real-life footage breakdowns as well as access to all my other coaching resource material, you can learn more about it in the description below. All right, strap in and enjoy. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and hit that motherfucking notification bell so that you know when I put out new videos. Right now, my plan is to release every Thursday, but that can change and more days might be added. Anyway, stay in the loop. Now let's get into it.
Why aren't you wearing your leather jacket? You gotta complete the whole bad bitch look. The sacrifices we make. It's all a front!
It is! It's really good! How did you know?
She fucking deceived us all.
All right, so here I open with, why aren't you wearing your leather jacket? You know, very casual, very matter of fact. And she says, well, I'm not cold. I say, you know, again, very matter of fact, you gotta complete the bad bitch look. And she kind of, you know, just shrugs. You can't see it in the video. And so I say, you know, the sacrifices we make, almost a bit disappointed, okay? As in she's sacrificing her her bad bitch look to be comfortable. So what can we say about this opener? The opener is observational, which is my go-to openers at night, okay? Observational openers. Situational / observation. You're observing something about the situation and you're just commenting on it, right? At night, it's generally not as appropriate or not as strategic to go verbally direct and say, hey, I'm hitting on you, you're attractive. Again, exceptions can be made and you'll see that in some of my videos, but generally it's good to just make an observational opener. It's more casual that way, not as like, whoa, like, you know, I'm hitting on you. You could, the idea is to be direct in your vibe, okay? And this is something you really need to practice if you're not yet good at it. And of course you could, you know, allude to the fact that you know, verbally allude to the fact that you find her attractive, you know, that you want to get with her over the course of the interaction, but at the beginning it's not necessary. What else can we say about this opener? It's commanding and authoritative in its tone. You know, it's not that heavy or serious, but it's like, you have to. Why aren't you? You have to, right? Suggesting I am the authority. I know what's best. I'm telling her what she needs to do. I have expectations of her. It's mildly provocative, but it's funny, right? Because it's a random comment, because of the whole tone of the opener, and because there's some truth in it. And I'm having fun, okay? It amuses me, okay? And that is maybe what's most important, okay? Or very important. I am doing this to amuse myself. Okay, and if she enjoys it too, well, that's secondary. Now, I said that there's some truth in it, and there's truth in it because, you know, wearing that leather jacket does make you a little bit more, you know, bad looking, edgy looking. Okay, so I wanted to clarify that. I also want to say that the commanding and authoritative tone is attractive. Okay, it's funny and it's attractive because women like men who are more dominant, more assertive, more masculine. Okay, so when you're setting yourself up as that figure, it's immediately attractive. Now, let's dive a little bit deeper into this humor, okay, that I am showcasing, and the vibe that I am showcasing with that humor. Okay, so I say the sacrifices we make, right? And then she says, well, I'm not a bad bitch though. And then I say in this, you know, loud, more dramatic fashion, it's all a front. Okay, she deceived us all. So let's talk about this style of humor. It's very much my style of humor. It's what I would describe as subtle, sometimes blasé, low-key, often deadpan, but also at times exaggerated, dramatic, over the top, ridiculous, okay, in either its tone or message. Okay, so there's that juxtaposition of low-key, subtle, blasé, deadpan with ridiculous, over the top, dramatic. Again, either in its tone or message. I'm saying that she's sacrificing her bad bitch look in order to be more comfortable, as I said. I'm making it sound as if it's unfortunate that she would do that. Okay? And then on top of that, it's layered on top of the fact that she's not necessarily, that, you know, that statement is layered on top of the fact that she's not necessarily trying to look like a bad bitch to begin with. This is an assumption I'm making. Okay? Let's recognize that. So I'm making this assumption and then I'm dramatizing it. Okay? The sacrifices, the deception, she's deceiving us all. Okay? So my style of humor, again, is a mix of the observational and the exaggerated, as well as this, you know, dramatized false narrative that I'm creating.
Hey, what up? It's me again. Just having a cocktail here, but I wanted to quickly interrupt to, one, make sure you're paying attention, and two, to let you know that everything you're learning here is directly and indirectly related to building your dream dating life. And just overall a life that is healthy, win-win, and on your terms. Now, when you're done the video, I recommend you take a few minutes to go to the link below where you can watch a very entertaining and informative video on what steps you need to take to begin your very own transformation. If you're up for it, that is. I guess you first need to ask yourself, and pardon my French here, but do you want to fuck lots of hot poop, or do you want to fuck lots of hot? As well as find love, discover the meaning of life, and become a self-developed, self-respecting man. Okay, end of pep talk. Back to the video. Go check out the link below when you're done, or I will personally call your mother and have her force you.
So my style of humor, again, is a mix of the observational and the exaggerated, as well as this, you know, dramatized false narrative that I'm creating. I'm also implying, now this is another powerful thing, I'm also implying that I know the person. I'm also implying that I know her, right? It's, I always talk about assuming a frame of familiarity. So that's a big part of it. And when you assume a frame of familiarity, you can create these false narratives, you can role play, okay? You can paint some kind of a scenario and inject her into the scenario where you and her are an item, okay? You're playing these roles. You can also, you know, flip the script where you assume that she is the aggressor, which is always funny. Why is this style of humor so, let's kind of emphasize this a little bit more. Let's let's dissect this a little bit more. Why is this style of humor so powerful and attractive? It's because, one, it assumes a bunch of things, okay? It assumes you know her. It assumes you know best. It assumes you're the authority. It assumes a ridiculous narrative. It assumes a strong sense of reality. Because to assume all these things is bold. It takes a risk. Okay, it requires taking a risk to assume all these things. So by definition, you come off as having a strong sense of reality, as being a confident person. But simultaneously, it doesn't take itself seriously. And this is the nice thing about it. It balances itself out. Often, a lot of guys, they create these personas and these facades where they take themselves seriously. And it's like, I'm this funny guy, and I can't be touched, and I am going to outwit you all. Okay, and you take yourself seriously, and that comes off as, it's subtle sometimes, but people pick up on it. It comes off as insecure. Here, I am showing that, I don't need to take myself seriously. I sometimes crack up on my own jokes. I sometimes, if a girl kind of teases me on the joke or the narrative that I'm creating or pushes back on it, I kind of just go with it. I don't try to one up her, and this is very important, right? It's almost like, here's this funny thing I'm proposing, but at the same time, it's okay. You can poke holes at it. You can make fun of it. You can tease. You can push back. What do they say? If you can't take it, don't dish it out. So I'm not taking myself seriously. The humor doesn't take itself seriously. I'm pushing my own buttons. Okay, it's expression versus impression. I'm pushing my own buttons. I'm not there to impress. The style of humor is not over the top or showy. I inject these little over dramatizations. At times, by the way, you don't want to be this, in this frame, in this entertainer mode for too long. This is something that you sprinkle in at times. You'll notice this at the opener. You might see a little sprinkles here and there over the course of the interaction, but that's it. And this ties in with the whole 30-70 rule, where 30% of the time you're building sexual tension by pushing and pulling, or by amping up the sexual temperature of the interaction. Why else is this style of humor powerful and attractive? It balances subtlety with panache. It balances subtlety, a deadpan kind of vibe or balances and contrasts with dramatic overtones, okay? With emotion that's injected. Okay, so you get the best of both worlds, and the contrast between the two is funny, it's powerful. It also, last but not least, invites people to play along, especially because it's playful, and most people will recognize it as such. It's playful. Yes, you'll have the odd person that will not take it the wrong way because they're delicate, little insecure flowers. It is what it is. And if that's the case, be like, hey, I'm kidding. It's okay. It's rare though, so don't worry about that. But people will recognize this as good, playful, collaborative. I would like to call it collaborative humor. It invites people to play along, to join in this fun little narrative or frame or dynamic that I am creating. Okay, so guys, I invite you to take away some of these elements and try to utilize them when you're out. It's both good for pushing your own buttons, creating a fun atmosphere, making people laugh, making yourself laugh. I really love to crack myself up. And also, it's attractive. It builds attraction.
All right, man. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this content and that it really helps you make some moves in the right direction. Sincerely. Because everything I teach, I have lived and breathed and contemplated ad nauseum. Unlike a bunch of these cookie cutter life coach clowns out there that regurgitate some shit they read in a book and call themselves experts. With that in mind, if you want to go deeper, if you want to really know what it takes to become the kind of guy that can confidently attract and manage relationships with quality women on your terms and in a way that is healthy and honest. No scummy or gimmicky shit here. And if you generally want to live a life of truth, freedom, love, courage, and adventure, then as Tom Cruise famously said in Jerry Maguire, help me help you. And go click the link below. There's a very entertaining and informative video that will shed some light on how you can get started. Do it, or you will forever perish into the dark abyss. But seriously, go check it out. Let's kickstart this journey of personal development together and help you reinvent yourself into a sex god.